Hi, my name is Vinay. I'm a volunteer for the North-South webinars team. Welcome to today's webinar. Before we start, actually today's topic is it's time for Panacea Challenge 2022. It's an information session about the Panacea Challenge for this year. We have Atman Balakrishnan and Jyotsna Gunturu, who will be presenting this session and answering your questions. Before we start, I just want to mention that today's webinar is being recorded, so we will be able to share the recording with you tomorrow. And you can ask questions in the question panel, and we'll be able to answer or provide the information that you're asking for. Yeah. Okay, so let me briefly introduce our speakers. Atman Balakrishnan is 16 years old. He's a rising junior in high school. He started competing in North-South competitions from the age of 9 in spelling. And since then, he stopped competing in spelling, but he has done many different things at North-South, including competing at the Panacea Challenge and then being part of the newsletter team, coaching junior spelling classes, and now is managing this year's Panacea Challenge. Outside of school and North-South, he likes to run track and field and play viola and piano, and he sings Carnatic music. Thanks, Atman, for joining. And Jyotsna Gunturu is a teacher by profession. She is associated with North-South since 2004. She's a coach, a national team member, and chapter director and technical coordinator. And thanks, Jyotsna, for joining. It is her third year coordinating Panacea Challenge. She likes to spend time with her daughters and hiking, and she enjoys outdoors. So over to you, Atman.
I'm excited. Okay, so it's time for Panacea Challenge 2022. So we have a new topic for this year, for the third year in a row. And we got a lot of submissions in 2020, a lot of submissions in 2021, and we're hoping for the same this year. So I'll just introduce the challenge. So the first Panacea Challenge was in 2020, and it was from an idea that Dr. Balu Natarajan had to engage North-South students with a creative activity during quarantine. So basically, it was a challenge to all the North-South students and families to devise a solution to the COVID pandemic, and there were a few categories. There were essay, art, and video / poster. So it was very successful. We got a lot of different submissions. We even got an elementary school student who submitted a video, and it got noticed by the governor of Massachusetts. It was about wearing masks. So during the COVID pandemic, so it had some outreach and it had some effect. And last year we did it again. The theme was last year was diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we got almost 200 submissions, essay submissions, and video poster submissions. So this is a video from last year's winners that they made very nicely for us. So I'll just play it. It kind of goes through their experience competing in the challenge and their thought process when choosing an idea and going through the steps to formulate a solution or a finished product for the idea.
The theme for 2021 Panacea Challenge was community improvement and DEI, meaning diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Although the time was short, we had lots of fun doing this project. Coming up with the idea to fulfill the theme of diversity and inclusion was the hardest, but once we decided on the idea, implementation was the fun part.
The AIM system consists of 8 components, including an app.
The app was a last-minute addition, and our mentor was extremely pleased that we thought about it and included it at the end.
Our invention, AIM, is a complete self-sustained system which could provide millions of people in dry areas with safe drinking and household water by harvesting rainwater and using our DOCS filter.
We built models for each part of the system separately, such as the DOCS filter, the water system, and the water level indicator system. before putting all the pieces together to make sure that the model worked perfectly.
It consists of 8 simple components: plastic gutter, harvest rainwater, main tank to hold the rainwater, dock filtration system, filters the drinking water, sink toilet combo, recycles hand wash water, community tank, holds excess water, water level indicator, indicates water level, aquatic system, grows fish and vegetables. 8. Share excess water in the community.
Science, but also how to research efficiently, troubleshoot patiently, and above all else, teamwork. We worked really hard, but we didn't really think that we would win. So when we found out that we won, we were just so happy that all of our hard work finally paid off.
And pizza and cookies were a bonus at the end of every practice.
But in all honesty, if this can be implemented in real life, we believe we can surely solve the safe drinking water issues globally. We thank North-South for giving us this opportunity through the Panacea Challenge to think outside the box and solve true global issues.
Yeah, so you could see their thought process there, and each step of the way their product was about providing water to dry areas where getting clean water is very, very difficult. So they had an idea for a system, and they ended up having 8 components, and they figured out each of them. They researched and found a solution. And they even made some working components as well, as you could see in the video. Now, this is a message from the CEO of North South Foundation, Dr. Balu Natarajan, about this year's 2022 Panacea Challenge.
Hi, I'm Dr. Balu Natarajan, CEO of the North South Foundation. It's time once again for our annual Panacea Challenge, this contest which hones and lets you share your creative spirit was born during the pandemic in the spring of 2020. This year's theme is around educational access. Specifically, what can North-South do to increase educational access for all children, particularly the underserved in the United States? And what idea do you have to promote education for all? And how could North-South assist? Check out northsouth.org for more details. I'm looking forward to seeing your videos, your art, your essays, and your creative spirit. Good luck.
Yeah, so this year's we have a new theme, which is about educational access, and that's obviously very, very important to North South. That's basically what we do. We give people without enough money for an education, we give them the resources to have an education and uplift themselves. So basically, with this challenge, we want you to devise ways that we could help decrease the education gap. So there's a gap between wealthier communities and less wealthy communities in education. So how can North South help close that gap? And that's your task for this year.
Hi, I'm Dr. Balu.
Okay, so first some deadlines for this year. So July 13th, and you can follow along as I read each of these and put them somewhere so that you remember. July 13th, so that is 1.5 or so weeks from now, is the registration deadline. So you can go to northsouth.org. On the left side there is a bar, and one of the twists is Panacea Challenge, and you could register there with the links. And the registration fee is $40. Then 1 week after that is submission deadline. So if you've already started, you have about 2.5 weeks left. And if you haven't started, then it's probably a good idea to register as soon as possible and get started. And then after July 20th, we'll go through the whole judging process, which involves many people, and we try and judge as well as possible. And we come up with scores for each of the submissions. You can also take part in the judging process by voting online. So we will post the semi-finalist, all the people who qualify for the semi-finalists after the judging process is over. All their submissions will be posted on social media, on all the North-South social media, and all of you can vote for your favorite posters, your favorite essays, your favorite videos. And on August 21st, 2 weeks later, we'll have finalists, and then we'll have the grand champions. And these will be announced at the award ceremony of the NSF National Finals on August 21st. Okay, so the prompt. So for elementary schoolers, the prompt is to create a project that describes what North-South means to you. So basically, this means how has North-South served you, and how can it continue to serve you, and how can it continue to serve the community? For middle and high schoolers, the task is to create a project that describes how North-South can increase educational access for all children, particularly the underserved in the U.S. More broadly speaking, how can North-South help to decrease the educational gap? And it's brought on purpose. So all of you have different strengths and interests, and you have different values and things you find interesting. So showcase your talents, and we can come up with many dozens and dozens of different solutions to the same problem. So I'm hoping to see that variety. All of you can create different projects based on the same prompt. This is purposely very broad. As you saw in the video, those winners, they worked in a group of 3. So you can work in a group of up to 3 people. The registration fee is the same, $40. One thing about working in a group, if you have an elementary school student and middle school student, then it has to be submitted under the older contestant's name and grade level. Always make sure that you credit everybody in the group so that everybody is recognized. If you go on to semifinals, finals, even grand champion, everybody has to be recognized for their work. So submit it under the oldest contestant's name and grade level, but be sure to add, be sure to credit the help of whoever contributed to the project. And we would love for this to be a family-driven effort as well. I remember I did the Panacea challenge in 2020. It was about COVID and what we can do to solve it. And my brother and I actually worked in a group. We created a video about COVID testing, and it was a family-driven effort. Like my parents helped us with the software of editing and creating a video, but the core of the work was completed by me and my brother. So you can take help from other places, and it's good. It helps you build your project, but all help must be credited. So this year we have 2 categories, essay and multimedia. So for the essay category, these are the things where what you see on the screen, that's what we're judging on. So grammar, organization, scope, voice, creativity, quality, and of course adhering to the theme, which is educational inequality. So of course have proper spelling, grammar, and sentence structure. You all know that. But the more important thing is show that you know the depth of the topic. And also these essays will be more research based. So make sure you fact check all the things you're saying. Make sure you have an idea of what your solution could look like, and make sure you've researched it. So if you look anything up online, make sure to credit the site you looked it up on, and that will lead to your essay being a high quality essay. Now there's a word limit as well. In the bottom left, you can see for elementary schoolers, your essay has to be between 200 and 400 words long. And for anybody who's older, it has to be between 400 and 700 words long. As for the formatting requirement, it has to be submitted on a PDF or as a Microsoft Word document. It has to be in Times New Roman font, and it has to be 12 size. And all this information is also available on the website. So if you don't be worried that to write notes and write all this down, it's all available on the website. Now we have the multimedia category. So for the multimedia, you'll be submitting a video as well as a poster. So with the poster, you don't have to put that like too much extra work. Mostly you just have to put in a video and make it a poster form so that we can submit it on the social media fan favorite voting. Oh, sorry. And obviously you're greater on grammar, so you don't want to be, your speaking shouldn't be too choppy or grammatically incorrect. Has to be organized. Make sure the transitions are smooth and you're not going abruptly from one topic to the next. And also video element. We want to see some editing creativity. Use pictures, use captions, use props, use costumes, even background music, and make sure make sure you are being creative with it. It's a visual piece. You want to maybe add some pizzazz. And then voice. So it has to be engaging. You could maybe add some humor, crack some jokes, or add some interesting facts in there, interesting solutions. Again, there's a limit. For elementary schoolers, the limit's 3 minutes long. And for middle and high schoolers, the limit is 4 minutes long. There is a video format requirement. You have to submit it as an MP4 or MOV. Again, this is all on the website. And the video should begin with a screen that has a student's name, the grade, where you're from, and obviously the video title. And also there's one thing with videos, there's copyright. If you do use music or captions, make sure you credit the source that you take it from, and make sure, if you can, that it's not copyrighted, because we will be posting these on social media, so we don't want to run into any trouble with the copyright. So make sure that is taken care of. And also make a poster. So now that we've gone through that, are there any questions? Just type them in the chat and then we can answer them. Oh yeah, and if you are watching this webinar after the fact on the recording, you can Josna, what's the email that you send it to?
They can send it to workshops@northsouth.org, and then we can pass it on to you, and then you can answer them.
Okay, so
yes, that's how it works. Workshops@northsouth.org.
In the chat, I can type that.
Sure.
Or no, that only.
Any questions for anybody? Any of the participants?
Oh, that's only two.
How much leeway will you give for the essay on the word limit?
We're not really planning to give too much leeway. Most of the time we just have the submissions are between that word limit. So because there's a lot of things to judge, so we don't want to have anything be too long or too long-winded, so the judges can grade all the essays fairly and completely and thoroughly. So we don't really have any leeway in the limit.
They would like to limit to what we have announced.
Yeah, so for that's elementary school, that is 200 to 400 words, and for middle and high school, 700 to 100. And that's all on the website as well. All this here you'll find on the website.
Thank you for it. asking. And are there any other questions? Actually, since there is only few, we could unmute them. If you just raise your hand, we could unmute you as well.
Yeah.
So to ask your question. Let me try to unmute Nidhish if he has any more questions. Hi, Nidhish. If you want, you could unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, hello. No, I don't have any more questions.
Okay, thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And all the best.
Yeah, you too.
We have Kavya and Amvi also joined us today. Did you participate in last year's Panacea challenge?
Any one of you participated in last year or the previous year?
No.
You guys can participate even though if you did. That's okay, but you can still participate even though if you did it last year.
Yeah, thank you.
All the best. Looks like there is no further questions, but I think we'll post this the recording of this video, right? If Jyotsna, you want to share something to the participants?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I got cut off. Vinay, are you asking me?
Yeah. I mean, if you both have anything else to add to it so that it will go on the recording.
I would say spread the word. We need as many participants as we can. This is something that you can talk about North South Foundation because you've been participating in these contests and you guys know what North South is. So we are looking for more and more submissions. Good luck and please watch for those deadlines.
Thank you. And I think the topic is interesting because a lot of people see North South as conducting contests and then coaching and then providing like scholarship for underserved in India. But I think this year the topic is trying to find solutions where we can engage more in the here as well and give access to education for the underserved here as well. So I think all the solutions and ideas that everybody will bring in will really help take that cause forward.
Yes.
We are excited to see all your
Well
ideas.
said.
So thank you, Atman. Thank you, Jyotsna, for presenting the Panacea challenge. And we are really excited to see what all the kids will come up with. And and we need everybody's help in spreading the word.
Yes, please spread the word.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll
Atman,
share
see
the
you.
recording to all the people who are registered, right? We'll get a recording link with the recording by tomorrow afternoon. And also we
Put on the website.
yeah, we'll also request this to be posted in our YouTube channel. So whoever has access to our YouTube channel will get this as well.
I think that's Balu, uncle.
Yes.
Yep. Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a good rest of the weekend.